Okay, so we are live. So welcome. I am Nicole, the host of the R&R Show, Real Estate and Relationships, where we talk all things real estate and the relationships around that real estate. So my guest today is Kimle Naylor. I'm so excited to have her. This is my first video. So Kimle is a real estate investor, contractor, and owner of Nail-Rite Construction. So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, Kimle, and then we'll, like I said, I sent you some questions that I would be asking, but before we go into all that, I want you to introduce yourself, and then we can talk about how we met.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, first of all, for inviting me to be on your show. It's such an honor to be a part of this, especially as an RO venture of yours for
Yeah,
2024.
yeah,
And it's also great for the work you're doing to make people aware of what opportunities exist in
yeah,
this world of real estate. So thank you for that. But my
yeah.
name is Kimle Naylor, and I started my real estate investing. I feel like I'm old in 1995,
So
but I'm
you're
seasoned. I'm
seasoned.
seasoned. I'm a seasoned
Yes, you are a
investor,
seasoned. Yes.
and that led me into the world of construction. I live in the city of Detroit, and in 2015, there was articles being written left and right about this revitalization that was going to happen to this Rust Belt city of Detroit, and there
Mm-hmm.
was construction projects that were in the hundreds of millions of dollars that was going to be coming, a new arena, a whole district Detroit neighborhood and Brush Park and Deschamps Place, like more development that you could imagine. I said, you know what, this is the time to transition to play bigger. And so I
Right.
entered the world of commercial contracting. When I got my builder's license, just to add some more credentials to myself in 2017 and start working, bidding on projects. And I wanted to be a vital part of Detroit's revitalization. And the reason why I wanted to be a part, I didn't want to see all this development come in the Black community and the Black neighborhoods remain unchanged. I saw that in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make sure that we had a chance to be on the pulse of what was happening in Detroit. And they
Yeah.
could be on these projects. And by being a contract and a construction owner, I could hire people and help them get introduced to the skilled trades. And they could feel that same excitement of seeing the city rebuilt and then take that energy out into our neighborhoods. So
Right. Yeah.
that's
Awesome.
my history in a nutshell of the real estate world and
Well, we're gonna
investing.
we, we're gonna talk a little bit more about that, and then also, some of the projects that you have worked on. But before we get into that, I wanted to know if you remember how we met or
You
when we
know,
met.
you said that a minute ago,
Yes.
and I was thinking, how did we meet? So I was going to say probably through Jason Cole
Yes.
and a Michigan Minority Contractors or a NAVWIC meeting. I figured it had to be
Nav.
one of those two.
It was Nabwick. That's where I initially met you, and it was when I don't know if you and if Jason had just started the organization
Yes,
or the chapter in
yes.
Michigan. 'Cause the chapter has a long-standing history, but yeah, he was helping to start the chapter in Michigan, and at that
Mhm.
time, I had just recently met Jason, and he was encouraging me to network and get involved. So yeah, yeah. So that's good. You remember. So
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Beautiful sisterhood since that time has emerged too.
I
Yes.
know, right? Yeah. So much has
Right.
happened. And it's nice that we are still in each other's circle. So, I also get to see or have seen you grow, has been a beautiful thing. But
Yes.
so yeah, you
Yes.
talked about your desire to want to be a part of the development that taking place in Detroit. So prior to you getting your builder's license, had you thought about this industry or even construction?
I did. In 1995, this is the amazing story. I call everything a 20-year journey. Seems I have to stall 20 years, then I take action. Don't be like me, wait 20 years. But then I learned that sometimes you get a vision and
Hmm.
you become the person that's necessary to fulfill that vision. So hold
Right.
on. But in 1995, when we incorporated, we were considering the construction company as a family business. I have three siblings
Mm,
whose occupation was drywall finishing. And so
okay.
that's how they had their career in the union. And every day, that's how they took care of themselves and their families.
Hmm.
And so when I said, you guys, we should start a construction company, And
Mm-hmm.
it was an ideal, a dream. We would gather at my brother's house and what's going to be the name. I think my sister-in-law finally came up with, how about Nail-Rite Construction? We
Ah.
adopted that, and I immediately went down to used to go to the Secretary of State at that time, and I got it all registered. And
Mm-hmm.
every year I renewed the corporate papers. We never did a doggone thing until
Mm-hmm.
2015, when I started reading about it. I said, this is the time. My parents had passed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had crossed 50.
Mm-hmm.
It's like now or never.
Yeah.
And so with this, previously we were talking about doing this when the casinos were going to be built.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're talking about an arena being built. And I said, I'm going to be a part this time. And the beauty of that is we were a part of the arena building.
That's awesome. So
Years
are
later.
your siblings still involved in the business?
My sister and my brother retired COVID. They both
Okay.
retired from the industry, but they
Okay.
are facilitating teaching at the
Mm-hmm.
Detroit Training Center here in the city of Detroit.
Yes.
And we're helping to develop the shortage of drywall finishers. That's why I went into business, because I'm a researcher by profession. As a business analyst, I work with
Mm-hmm.
JD Power and Associates. So we do is research and
Mm-hmm.
research in the construction industry, because we do industry-wide research. I
Mm-hmm.
discovered that what my family did is ranked number 4 in the
Mm-hmm.
shortage of labor. So I said,
Okay.
this is the perfect niche. They're skilled, 30 plus years.
Yeah.
We can make this happen. It was a
Right.
passion I had, taking my business acumen and marrying it with their talent and skills, and let's make this work. And so they're involved now on a level of trainers,
Mm-hmm.
and both have retired, but they were integral part in our projects that we've done. We did a refurbishing of a 1920 property in the North
Mm-hmm.
End, over $270,000 development. We did that project and got that one done, and they were right there with me, making sure we got all those walls up and everything. So,
Well, that's
yeah.
awesome. And then, that's why my show is called the R&R Show, because, it's real estate and relationships. And you just
Mhm.
talked about how you and your siblings, which is, a form of a relationship,
It
you
is.
guys ended up, starting this business. And then, even though they have retired, they're still, doing the well, they started doing the teaching. But yeah, it's like, through real estate, you find so many different types of relationships and an involvement. It could be divorce, families transferring home, through generations, and yeah. So, but yeah, that's a great story. So, can you share what you are also involved in currently?
Sure. So, I've been working with investors in the area, and residential owners doing home improvement. So
Hmm.
we streamlined our business in the residential space to kitchens and bathrooms and
Hmm.
basements. We
Hmm.
wanted to continue to grow in the commercial state aspect of the business, because that's where all the 160 units are coming, 40 unit projects, so we can be on a project longer periods of time. And as
Hmm.
we hire new people coming in, our mission is to support those who are returning from prison, coming out
Yeah.
of high school and don't know what path to take. We can show
Hmm.
them how they can make a viable income. So I'm looking for the longer jobs. The kitchen, you're in 2 weeks, you're searching for another kitchen, you're looking
Yeah.
for another bath. So here, this gives us continuity for our employee base, and that's our dream for 2024, is to really scale up.
Hmm.
Right now, we're working on really our infrastructure as a business.
Hmm.
I've been interviewing a construction manager. I just secured a estimator, a service that's going to do our estimating for us. That's
Hmm.
exciting. So we'll be doing some commercial projects and getting ready to be a partner when District Detroit rolls out. The Saxy Construction here in this area is doing a whole development
Hmm.
out in, I'm not sure what, in North Corktown. Yeah,
Okay.
off of 14th Street in Ash. It's going to be infill, single family homes, multi-unit retail space, and Nail-Rite is going to be a part of that. See, I was just speaking as if it already is.
Mhm.
That's how it happens for me. When I say I'm going to work at the arena, I had no idea when, how it could happen. And when I
Right.
got a call to help them with the project, I said yes. I had no employees, but in 4 days we had a team of 7 on that job site.
Awesome. And, I totally agree. Speaking into existence is real. I can attest to that myself. But yeah, that's awesome that you guys are also providing workforce development
Yes.
as well as, helping to revitalize the city, this great
Yeah.
city of Detroit.
Yeah, it's
So,
being reimagined. I love the fact Detroit is iconic in that it's being reimagined.
yeah.
And my interest in being a part of it is how many of us in our personal lives need to be reimagined. And we sometimes lose hope. But when you're putting your hands to a project and you're actually creating this new revitalized community or this city or this building or this property,
Hmm.
then you don't doubt that I can also be transformed. So that's why our tagline is building structures and building lives.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Mhm.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you care to share? Hold on, I got some notes here. Can you talk a little bit about your business growth and maybe like when it started or when you noticed it?
Mhm. So when we came out the gate on the commercial space, the residential side was, first of all, my real estate investing process. I worked with an
Mhm.
attorney in Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, and that's how I learned real estate investing. And what we did was his main book of business were
Mhm.
investors. And
Okay.
so what we did was I was doing the contracts, I was looking at the properties, I was looking at the appraisals, I was looking at title, and I'm starting learning this industry. And when I
Right.
came back to Detroit, I'm like, this is something I have to do. You guys have to forgive me because I don't know what's happening and it looks like I'm running out of power. So you're going to get
Oh
a
no.
different
Okay.
backdrop. We want to keep this real. This is the real relationship show. This is
Yes,
live.
it
And
is.
we're going to
And,
get plugged in.
it's okay.
And
You also have mentioned that you're in a hotel right now too. So I really appreciate you taking time out to record with me. But are you is it for business or pleasure?
this is for R&R, like your show.
No, no.
Rest and relaxation.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it.
And so
Good for you because we
when you're
also
getting ready to go to new levels, sometimes you have to bring yourself to a state of calmness. And
yes.
there's a lot of new development coming up for me this year, new construction ground up, um, leading and spearheading some CRA interest, which is Community Reinvestment Acts, ensuring dollars come into our neighborhoods and helping get Black and Brown developers in
Hmm.
position to use those dollars and resources, um, so that we can win in our communities.
Yeah.
There's nothing about playing small today.
No,
So I'm
it's
just taking in the sun,
it is not.
allowing myself to be grounded and refurbished so I can come out the gate. It's like, watch out.
Well, good for you because it is quite gray here in the city. So definitely some vitamin D is
Yeah,
needed and helpful. Yeah.
yes, most definitely. I needed to get some vitamin D and
Yeah.
some invigoration from the sun.
Hmm.
And so I said, you know what? This is the week. Jump on a plane and go get some sun.
That's good. That's
I
good.
wasn't gonna not. I was not gonna miss this opportunity. So I apologize. My lighting isn't the
No, you're
greatest,
okay.
but
You're
hopefully you
okay.
can see me. As
Yes, we
long as
can
you can
still
hear
see
me,
you.
that's most important. Just be able to hear me.
No, we can still see you. We can still see you. So you're fine. And
Good.
it's all right. You can't help the juice was about to, go, so whatever. But so yeah, you were talking about though, sort of your how your growth, how
Yeah. So I was saying I started in Chicago working with an
yeah.
attorney, and that's what introduced me to the real estate industry. So I was fixing and flipping.
What
Some
type
things
of
I was buying.
attorney was it?
It's totally real estate investing. Mhm.
Oh,
All of
okay.
our clients were investors. We only did buy, hold. Everyone was an investor. We didn't have. They were developing the communities, the old courtyard apartments in Chicago,
So was
developing them, scraping them.
the attorney, was he reviewing like documents or something, or was
Yeah,
he
he was an advisor as well. So we would
uh
start the projects. He would like advise them on how to make sure that the information they were receiving from a seller was
okay.
accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Something I'll never forget. Anytime you
Yeah.
work with a project, usually someone who has 10 or less doors or
Mm-hmm.
units, they
Mm-hmm.
typically may be their own project manager.
Mm-hmm.
And so, or even if they are not, there's a document that they're going to submit to the internal revenue
Mm-hmm.
called a Schedule E. And the
Mm-hmm.
Schedule E is the document that discloses the revenue and the expenses with property.
Yeah.
He said, never sign a contract without demanding a Schedule E be attached. So those are the real expenses that they told the IRS. They may tell you a whole book of business that may not be absolutely correct, but
Mm.
that is what they're going to report. And most people are going to try and report the most expenses to have the most deductions they can.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. So I always ask for the Schedule E. Some people balk at it. I don't do business if I don't get a Schedule E.
Well, that's a useful information to know. I'm not an investor, so I wouldn't know that. So, but now that you provided this information, I know,
Yeah.
moving forward, if
Mhm.
you don't have your Schedule E, I'm going to question doing business with you.
Absolutely. You want someone that you can do business with, that you could actually do business with a handshake because you have so much respect and integrity. We
Mm-hmm.
still take care of our paperwork, but you
Right.
want the relationship to be so deepened that it
Right.
was as if you were, and that's what you're building. So I left there, came back to Detroit. I was actually living in Chicago for a short period of 4 years, came
Mm-hmm.
back to Detroit, saw that Detroit was perfect for a time to start investing because I saw what happened in Chicago. They
Mm-hmm.
redesigned the McCormick Place, which would be equivalent to our Huntington Place now. They
Okay.
did what Chicago Hall became. And then all this spawn of new growth began to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So with the talks of the arena, I knew what would follow. And I was
Right.
trying to jump in, ground
Mm-hmm.
level, be in the game. So I bought a lot of property up until 2008, when things went bonkers with the banking
Mm-hmm.
system. I had probably acquired about 20 properties over 18 months.
Okay.
2007 and 18, I just was grabbing everything I could grab,
Yeah.
using credit cards to get them, refi them later. and
Mm-hmm.
and then I got until the bubble burst, and then I was stuck holding about 6 properties, all with credit card financing. So that monthly expense was strenuous. But
Yeah.
I being offered, well, just file bankruptcy, just sell the property. I'm like, no, I can't do that. I cannot do that. I'm going to get through
Mm-hmm.
this dry spell, and I did.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough.
Mm-hmm.
It meant moving back home with my mom in my
Mm-hmm.
40s. I don't care, mom, I'm only gonna be here a short while, but when I leave here, you and I both gonna be better.
Yeah.
So I end up now selling those properties later with their appreciated value. Those I got for 20,000, I was letting go for 98. I have one
Mm-hmm.
that's now worth 135. I started selling them, and I took those resources. I started investing in multi units, like uh, 30 units and above, and partnering, not wholly owning them, but
Yeah.
partnering to get the cash flow passively.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you already kind of talked about how you started. You talked about your family, and that what a perfect last name, Nailer. And you can,
I know.
you
People
got
ask me if I changed my name on purpose. I said no. Now, I did go from my married name, Mitchell, back to Naylor so
okay.
that it would align with the business, but that
Yeah.
was my birth
It
name.
does
It's
align,
birth. It's on the birth certificate.
definitely.
It's on the birth
Yeah.
certificate.
Yeah. So, do you have any stories you want to talk about, some related to challenges or some best practices? You kind of already talked about the Schedule E.
Yeah, I would say some other best practices when you build your team. Think about real estate relationship, as she's saying. It is relationship.
It is, and that's
You
why it's
must
called.
have a good relationship with your seller. As I said, you want to have a level of integrity. You want to
Mm-hmm.
feel like, "Oh, I'll buy from them again, and they want to sell to me again."
Yeah.
You want to have a healthy relationship with the contractors. If there's rehab work to get properties ready for the market, or you want to just have someone who maintains your properties that you want to keep, a good relationship that's positive and healthy means you're going to get quality service.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it may be the cheapest, but it's going to give you the best service that you don't have to call him as often.
Right.
Your lender, if you're financing deals or whoever you're getting your funding from, if it's your insurance agent securing your properties,
Mm-hmm.
your title company, you want a good title company that you can always work with. Sometimes they may run a search on your property and just say, hey, just put that in the next deal. And then there may be a fee when you actually closing the deal. You want to always have these healthy relationships with the players of this industry. We look
Yeah.
out for each other. We really become a family. And
We
I think
do.
this show is a great show to really showcase all the brothers and sisters that we bring into the familyhood of real estate.
That's
And
exactly what this show is about. That I as I was trying, because I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel, me trying to both, build my brand, get out of my comfort zone, become an expert in my field. I thought about the relationship again between this industry and everyone involved. And then I
Mhm.
also, got a little kick out of looking at also how, it doesn't always work out. Like in divorce,
The deal, you don't always close the deal.
there's
Be
real there's
so close, and you still don't close the deal. You'd be like,
there's real estate involved in those relationships as well that end, so but
mm.
yeah, that's why I started this show. But yeah, I totally agree with you about how where it is kind of like a family.
Yeah, that's how I would say. Bring you a close knit family of players you can work with endlessly, year in and year out. Real estate is building a dynasty. It's in the long haul. It's not a get rich
Right,
quick.
it is.
It's what you're
Yeah,
building over time. So those relationships are critical to the longevity of your success,
yeah,
so that you can continue to grow. That's one of the biggest best practice I can say in the world of real estate. Really find good people to work with so
yeah,
you can grow, because they'll be with you 10, 12 years later.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm there's one more thing I want to
Mhm.
ask you before we end, because I did say that I wanted to be respectful of your time. I don't want to make the show recordings too long, but I just want you to talk a little bit about the importance. So you're a general contractor, correct?
Yes.
I just want to talk about the importance because I see and read a lot of stories about individuals, homeowners who, hire who they think are contractors or they have
Mhm.
experience and they don't. And, I see them on these platforms like Nextdoor where they're complaining about how either the contractor didn't do what they said they were going to do, they did a really bad
Mhm.
job, or they
Mhm.
paid them and then they never came and did the work. So can you
Right.
speak a little bit about that?
Yes, I can. Those players who give the industry a bad name, and it's real. I often say I'm gonna start a business. You know how they have what is it? The where they help you find referrals. You can call her up. It's Alice, not Alice. What was her?
Angie
Angie's
List.
leads,
Mhm.
Angie's list. Well, that's
Yeah,
not good enough, because you get somebody off that list and still can not perform well, because you still don't have a benchmark. You
mhm,
don't know
yeah,
what's right and what isn't. I said I should start Kim's list. So when you take on a contractor, you can pay a small fee and let
mhm,
me oversee if what they delivered at
right,
25% in. If they ask for money up front, we can talk about the terms of money
mhm,
distribution. I encourage people, this is something, anyone hearing this, please go and get you a Home Depot card. Most of your contractors are going to get their supplies from the Home Depot.
mm.
You can get your own card, have them give you a material list of what's needed. You can still pay them to go and pick that up, but you paid for it. So no money is expended until they earn their money by doing some work.
So can you just repeat that again? So you're saying that if I wanted to get some work done in my home, and that I should, you said go get a card. Do you mean like apply for
Yeah.
credit for a
A
card?
credit card, you can get a credit card from the Home Depot. They may
Hmm.
have $3,000, $4,000 starting out. You can build on that if you're doing a lot of projects on your home. So the real thing, the contractor, people who have these horror stories, I gave him $20,000 and he ran away.
Hmm.
Well, $20,000 is a lot of money. And we ask, how did you give it to them? They'll say, cash.
Right.
Okay, I'm glad you have $20,000 sitting around, or you might have saved to do
Well,
this investment. You know, I
but
have
wait,
clients tell me they've made that investment savings to make this improvement in their bathroom. So they have the 15,000, right?
yeah, so
Now they're
you're saying
ready.
that they should apply for the credit for the card and then use the
Yeah.
card.
So the thing you want to circumvent is having to give so much money up front. You haven't gotten any work.
Yeah,
Every other
right.
profession, you
Yeah.
have to work and then get paid. You work and then you get paid. So the
Mhm.
contractor says he needs to get materials. Well, let's get this list of materials. I pay for them. That's cash I don't have to advance.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so
Yeah.
now I have the money in my till I've saved, but I don't have to give him money, the contractor, him or her. So now
Mhm.
the contractor has materials to work. Now you can see what they do.
Mhm. Mhm.
And after they do that first day of work, you can call Kim's list, come take a piece, and we can see
Yeah.
they know what they're doing or they don't. I can tell day one, because construction is done in a process. When you build a house, it's done in a process.
Mhm.
Renovation should be done the same way. If somebody puts your floor in first before they put in demo your walls, why would you put all that on your new floors? So it should be
Right.
working in the same order and fashion as new construction. Walls first, flooring last. You want the
Yeah.
last thing to be your floor, so people walk out of your house and not all the work crew is walking on your new floor before you do.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
they're working in a backwards manner, I can let you know. Let's have some questions that I would know to ask that the owner may not know.
Right. Okay. And then last thing. So for those who may have a very, or not very, but a small budget, maybe they only have a couple $1,000, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000 to get something done. And just hypothetically, they don't have the best credit to go get a credit card. What still is something else that they might be able to do to kind of protect themselves? Or,
Go shopping. Just go shopping with the contractor. What do we need? Here's the
oh,
list, and I'm there to get the materials. If you
yeah.
don't have a
Okay.
credit card, then let's go shopping together, and I make sure. And be honest. Look, if this
Mhm.
is remember, it's relationship. If
Yeah.
you're getting offended because I'm saying I don't trust what happens to so many things, I want to earn your trust.
Yeah.
So yes, let me go with you to the store to work this out the best way you need to work it out,
Yeah.
because I plan to be here for the long haul.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I
That's a great
understand,
point.
I hear all the negativity. So if somebody asked me that, I would not be offended. I would do everything in my power to give them comfort, trust, and
Mhm.
peace of mind. We say we design with your peace of mind.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree. And, if you do have someone that is giving you a really hard time, about you asking something small, like, wanting to go with them or, going to buy the items. And yeah, I would say that's a red flag too. Yeah.
Yes, that's a red flag. And a lot of times people have those red flags, they have those guts, and the guys convince them they know what they're doing. I've gotten burned. I had a
Mhm.
guy convince me to give him $20,000 that he's been working on drywall, and I retained him to do the upper unit of this 1920 project. And when they came to work that day, I was like, no way, babes, you've not done this before. Then I found out one of his guys was a roofer. One of the guys had never done any of the work. And
Uh,
so I said, you have to pay this money back. Well, all of it didn't come back, as you could expect. How did you spend all that money? So I asked him, how are you planning to perform if you have no money? Because that wasn't all the cash. That means
yeah.
you couldn't even get to the finish line to get the balance. You'd have left me hanging anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't want anyone to feel ashamed or guilty,
Hmm.
because we all want to have the element of trust. That's why relationships, this show is going to be helpful, because
Yeah.
now you can not only leverage your relationship, but the people in your relationship can help you find that credible partner. So it
Yeah.
becomes a resource as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So, we're going to wrap things up. But before we go, I want you to let all the viewers know where they can find you, your website, social media.
So I am Kimle Naylor. We are Nail-Rite Construction Company. You can find us on our website, www.nailrite.com. We have a Facebook page, which is also Nail-Rite. You can find me on my personal page, Kimle Naylor, very unique. I'm the only one there.
Yeah,
At facebook.com/Kimle Naylor. I don't do much on the Instagram. Sorry, guys. I'm still getting there. But
it's okay.
I
You
would
got to wear
love
a
to be.
dress.
Yeah, we'll get started there. We got some pictures we're loading, but you can get a hold of us. My Instagram is saved for my building lives part of it, so that's what we call it. It's called Detroit Divas. It's not even my name,
Okay.
but that's where we help transform women into becoming divas, divinely inspired visionaries of action.
You want to share a little bit about that, or you want to go?
I would love to. I would love to. We
Yeah.
celebrated 15 years of empowering women this past November.
Congratulations.
Stay tuned. This spring, we'll be hosting some form, is in the works. I'm actually asking the models and the participants and the vendors, what would they like to envision as a 15-year celebration?
Hmm.
What we did for years was empower women to come together. We had our day of empowertainment. We empowered ourselves with learn how to speak, have the proper mindset with presenters. And then we had also musical talent, spoken word talent, dance talent, monologues talent. We had every talent you could think of. And the whole room was surrounded by women-owned businesses, showcasing their products and services and helping women to know that empowerment happens inside of sisterhood. So when we unite together, we grow stronger and we
Yes.
can go much further.
Well, thank you, Kimle, again for joining me. I appreciate you taking time out of your R&R to join the
The
R&R show.
sunshine, the sunshine.
Yes. All right. Well,
It's
enjoy
an
your.
honor. It's an honor. Thank you so much again for
Oh,
having
thank
me.
you, and enjoy your time. And